Morning, this is Brian. Today is Wednesday, May 31st, 2023. And I'm here at the Mesa Trailhead, here at the edge of Mission Trails Regional Park. Don't have anything huge planned for today, but I'm planning on hiking along this here. This is the extension of Mesa Rd, which ends right in the neighborhood. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to hike up this very random summit, very little known, and it's Hill 799, and it's known on Peak Bagger as Morning Mist Hill because the hill overlooks this small residential road called Morning Mist Road. Just kind of a small goal for today. I'm very run down this week. So I didn't do any hiking on Tuesday like I normally do. So I'll just get out and do a little something today. I'm gonna have a few days off coming up this time next week. Well, I'd say Sunday through Wednesday. So hopefully I'll get into some more substantial outings. But today, I think this will be just fine. So what happens is, this extension of Mesa Rd meets up with the terminus of Lake Murray Boulevard. And my hill is going to be off to the right. Probably not looking at more than maybe a couple of miles. I don't know the exact mileage, I didn't map it out yet. There's supposed to be a trail that wraps around it, and then I think there's like a use trail or a game trail that runs up to the summit area. So we'll see how this goes today. Should be interesting. So this ridgeline here, this meets up with Cuyamaca College on the outskirts of El Cajon. Here's the Mesa Trail. I did this trail back in October when I did my first climb up to Coles Mountain. Purposely made my first summit of Coles Mountain one of the longer ways. And it sure made for a very adventurous day. But I'm gonna keep climbing along this, and I'll see you up the way. Enjoy some beautiful scenery here. Now this side features some very nice scrub oak chamois chaparral. All creamy white stuff that you see here on the hillsides. That's chamois blooming right now. And the darker green shrubs are the scrub oaks. Hard to tell from here what species they are because I'm not up next to them, but won't be surprised if they're Quercus acutidens in there. We do have a slightly riparian section here. Some occasional goodies black willows popping up. But yeah, all that creamy white stuff on the hill. And over there, up there, it's all chamois in bloom right now. And the elevation gain here on the road part is very gentle, very easy. I still have that annoying blister on the back of my foot. It's still kind of annoying me a little bit, but I'll get over it. And here's a chamois coming up right here. the hill or not. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm going to be going towards a notch and then up and around it. But yeah, looks like we're a little past peak bloom already. Let's see what variant this is. This appears to be the regular variety of chamise. I think we might be a little too far inland for the obtusifolium, but this appears to be the regular Adenostoma fasciculatum variety, fasciculatum. There's a lot of it around here. Sometimes if you're kind of far away from a hill, sometimes it's hard to tell if it's growing there until you see it in bloom in late spring. And voila. We're also getting the California buckwheats that are starting to bloom as well. And I think this is the coastal one. A few different forms of that as well. But yeah, I'm going to be heading towards where this turns into the paved northern terminus of Lake Murray Boulevard. And I'm going to look for a trail that kind of winds around the slope of this. I think this is it right here. I think this is the hill I'm supposed to climb. So we'll see. I think this might be it. But I'm not going to go directly for it. Like I said, there's going to be a trail that kind of circles around it. And then I'm going to look for some type of use trail or something that's going to lead up to a somewhat bald near summit area. And I'm going to have to work my way to the actual summit, which is probably on some game trail or something. We'll see. Oh, here's one of the scrub oaks right here. Pretty decent sized one, actually. This one definitely appears to be a Dumosa. I guess they do come as far inland as Santee. Not super far inland, but that definitely appears to be a Dumosa. So we got Corpus Dumosa here too. Really not that far from, I believe, where I'm gonna be banking a right. I don't think. I suspect this is gonna be the hill. See. What I'm going to have to do is cross the riparian section and then kind of wrap around the hill a little bit. So we'll see. There's a nice chamise right there. Still very well in full bloom. Nice one. That's a handsome specimen. Alright, we'll see. Okay, it's time for me to start looking for the route that's going to take me up the hill. I think what I have to do is go right up next to Lake Murray Boulevard, I believe. Before we do, we're in a really luscious stand of huge Mission Manzanitas. These are some big ones. These are some almost tree-sized ones. This is our Xylococcus bicolor I always point out when I'm here at Mission Trails. So yeah, we got some monster specimens here. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. It's always a treat. It's always a treat when hiking in this area of Mission Trails. The Coles Mountain regions, they call it. They divide it up into Coles Mountain, Fortunas. This is very luscious over here. Beautiful black sage, red monkey flower, of course more chamise. Nice juicy toyon right here. So looking at Google Earth, I was supposed to branch off and cross through a small riparian section on a trail or use trail. So that's what I'm going to be looking for now. Some nice stately sycamores here. It's very beautiful here. I gotta admit, this is very beautiful. I've never been to this little portion here. Like I said, I've done the Mesa Trail, Mesa and Big Rock trails to get to Coles Mountain, but I've never been this far. And Cuyahoga College is just across the canyon, up on the hill there. So I'm guessing we're kind of near the borders of Santee, El Cajon, and San Diego. Very beautiful here. There's a little drainage ditch here. Looks like there were some people working up there. That's the end of Lake Murray Boulevard right there. Oh, here's a pretty decent sized chamois ash right here. A couple of them actually. Fraxinus Udi. Native to Mexico, I think, Central America. There's a nice big laurel sumac right here. I'm gonna see if I can find that trail. I'll see if that happens. I think I'm supposed to cross a little bit earlier. Yeah, I was all the way at Lake Murray Boulevard. Because I remember seeing imagery of a riparian area that I was supposed to go through. So let me see. Let me go back, backtrack a little bit. Over there, there's a lot of people working and stuff. I don't want to get caught up in that. Let's see what's going on here. Let me see. I thought there was supposed to be a riparian section to climb through. Because I saw the imagery, there was a trail that cut through. I don't know if I was supposed to go all the way to Lake Murray though. Lake Murray Boulevard. I'll probably find out pretty soon. Looking to see if this is it right here. Let me see. This isn't a riparian area though. Let me see. Let me just take a look and see what's going on. No, this isn't it. Yeah. Huh. Oh, that's weird. There's even a public entry prohibited sign right there. So, yeah, I'm not going for that. It was a little lusher on the imagery, but I saw. Maybe it's down here somewhere. This might be it right here. If it continues on the other side, that is. I'm not too sure about that. Alright, let me see if I can get down this slope really quickly. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think this is it either. There's a little path that comes down here, but it seems to peter out about here somewhere. I'm just going to look through here and see if there's anything at the end of this. It looks promising, but I don't think so. I don't think so. But this is a pretty nice looking area though. Just want to see. there's some stuff moving around in there. I wonder what's moving around in here. Ooh! I think that was a bullfrog. I think this is going to be a bullfrog pool here. I just heard something huge leaping in there. Of course, don't get to see it. But I think this is going to be a bullfrog habitat over here. So maybe I should go up here a little bit and take a look. Well, I might have to find another way to get up to that hill. I might have to park on one of the higher roads and make it a shorter hike. Because I'm not seeing a use trail coming through here. But yeah, that was a big plop. That had to have been heard on camera. That plop had to have been heard on camera. Keep thinking I hear rivets off in the background. Rivets meaning Baja chorus frogs, but it might be just the reverberation of the trickling of the water. This is a pretty little enclave here, I'll tell you that. Here we got mule fat here. Baccharis salicifolia, subspecies salicifolia. Of course, we got more of it here. And we got arroyo willow, some Gooding's black willow, and of course, broom baccharis, the omnipresent shrub here in San Diego County. I'm gonna see if I can get lucky and catch any frog sightings. I see a crawfish down there. It's kind of hard to, you won't be able to see it on camera. But under this branch here, there's a red crawfish down there. I can see it just kind of ambling along the bottom of this pool. So I'm guessing this would probably not be a very good Baja chorus frog pool here, because I'm pretty sure that bullfrogs eat smaller frogs like chorus frogs. So this probably wouldn't be a very good place to find Baja chorus frogs. Just looking around to see if I can see anything interesting. I'll work my way around here and... Ooh! There's a bird in the bush. Might have been rented, maybe. Perhaps. Alright. Well, maybe I can see if I can find a way to get along here and just hang out by this pool for a little bit. Okay. So I'm on the other side here. I'm down here at the bottom of the little draw here. Let's see what I can find. Anything cool pushing around here, maybe. Oh, I see some crawfish and some mosquito fish. So yeah, I don't think this would be a good Baja chorus frog breeding area. I don't think they would be too happy here. Ooh, a hummingbird. I got a really tiny caterpillar. Look at that. Looks like it's playing dead, but it's not. That little gray streak on my shirt there. There's a little tiny caterpillar. I'm going to try to very gently get it on this cattail leaf here. I almost got caught in the fiber of my shirt. There we go. Very gently. I'm trying to be careful. Try to be gentle. But yeah, if you look down in here, right next to the shore, well, I saw a crawfish, but it looked like it darted before I can get it on camera. But we got some more crawfish right here. This guy right here in the center of the frame. I'm trying to be careful here so I don't scare it away. Yeah. We got some crawfish action here. These are not native. I don't think we have any native crayfish, crawfish species here. So I believe these are actually supposed to be invasive. But they're pretty cool to look at, not to lie. And I do see mosquito fish swimming around, and they're also not native as well. That's Gambusia finis. I don't know if you'll be able to see them on camera. It's pretty cool to just poke around here and see what you can find. And another interesting thing is the amphibian species here, the bullfrog, is not native either. We used to have a close relative called the Rana draytonii, which is the California or the Southern California red-legged frog that used to live in this range and is supposedly very rare. Oh, I can see a bullfrog right now. I can see a bullfrog right on the other side of the bank. You won't be able to see it very well on camera because the cattails are blocking it. But I do see a bullfrog right in that spot there. Like I said, you're not going to be able to see it very well, but I do see a bullfrog. That's the first actual bullfrog I've seen since moving out here. Yeah, it's a smaller one too. It's not a very large one. And my camera's about to die, so let me go switch batteries real quickly. So yeah, I guess it's kind of hard to see, but kind of through here, there's a bullfrog just right on the edge. This is kind of a smaller one. And if you're not familiar, since out here they're not really native, but I'm pretty sure if any of you've hiked around water features, especially ones with cattails, this is where I seem to see them, or not see them, but hear them. If you hear a sound, that's a bullfrog call. And that's me again, by the way. But yeah, it's kind of like a moaning groan is kind of what a bullfrog sounds like when he's calling. I can't tell if that's a male or female from here. I believe that's a male. Females don't have as much green in their coloration. But there you got it. Let me see if I can zoom in just enough so it can be seen. I hope. But yeah, right about where this little gray stick is, yeah, kind of where the tip of my finger is covering, there's a bullfrog in there. Lithobates catesbeanus, formerly known as, and sometimes still known as Rana catesbeana. They're not native here. They're introduced a long time ago, and the thing about them is they do have a way of upsetting the ecosystem balance, and that's through predation of smaller ranids and smaller frogs and tree frogs. They've been known to eat other frogs. Actually, these bullfrogs can get large enough to actually eat rattlesnakes, I believe. I believe they've been even known to predate on different species of snakes. That's how big bullfrogs can get. The one that is over there on the side of the pool is a pretty small one, so it might be pretty young. The bullfrogs can get very huge, and they can be pretty hefty animals. Well, that's pretty cool. The first time I've seen a bullfrog since moving back here. I'd seen them. Sometimes you'll see them in urban parks too. You can see them in urban parks. One place where I've seen populations of bullfrog tadpoles and bullfrogs was in Orange County, Craig Regional Park, near Fullerton and Brea. A place called Craig Regional Park, and that was before I was filming my videos. But you can see bullfrog activity over there. Sometimes you'll see their huge tadpoles swimming around in the water, and then sometimes you'll see the frogs hopping in the water on the side of the little creek. There's a little tiny miniature creek that runs through there. It's pretty neat, actually. Pretty neat, to be honest with you. So you'll see bullfrogs in Craig Regional Park, which is pretty nice. So this might be a breeding pool right here. This is probably one that retains water most, if not the entire year. I just, you know me, I love herps. I love reptiles and amphibians, and that's what a herp is, a reptile or amphibian. I just heard another plop. Very gentle plop this time. Might have been a smaller one. So apparently it was one chilling over there, because that's where I heard the first plop, over on that side. But yeah, bullfrogs are known to eat other species of frogs, snakes, lizards, sometimes even small birds and very small rodents. So they have quite a voracious appetite, and as a result, they can get quite large. Like I said, they are not a natural part of the Western North American ecosystem. They were introduced here and naturalized very readily. So I suspect, besides rampant habitat loss, as to why our other bullfrog relative, the red-legged frog, which is Rana Rodrigtoni, or I don't know if it's been classified as a lithobates like the bullfrog. Bullfrogs and leopard frogs have been classified by some taxonomists as in the genus Lithobates. So we'll see. But the California red-legged frog, unfortunately, has been extremely badly threatened. Habitat loss, maybe herpetological collecting, probably. I would assume that there's people who like to poach them. And the fact that bullfrogs take over their habitat, and a lot of times will eat them, because they're not really tiny frogs, but they're definitely smaller than the bullfrog, and a bullfrog will eat whatever it can catch. So while I do look on the bullfrog with admiration, I do also realize that it is a species that is very concerning for our native populations. So I do look at both sides of the coin. A, yes, it is an invasive species. B, it is a living creature, and I think our living creatures are beautiful. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword for me, I guess you could say. Well, it's pretty neat. Finally got to see a bullfrog. Maybe I'll get to see more today. I'm guessing this is not going to be a climb up to that peak today. I'm going to have to find another way, because really not sure how this is going to work. Oh well, I'm going to let the frogs do what frogs do. That was really cool to see. Probably won't see it very well on camera, unfortunately. But, alright. I'm going to start climbing up this back to the main road. Alright, so I might have to plan another way to get up to this hill. I think there are other ways to get up there. Oh, people are still working over there at the end of Lake Murray. Like I said, I don't want to get in the middle of a work site. A little disappointing, but seeing the bullfrog definitely made up for it, and then some. Because if you watch my videos, you know I love studying and checking out plants, but I also love herpetology, checking out reptiles and amphibians, learning what I can about learning and demonstrating these awesome species of reptiles and amphibians that live here. So let's see. I think I'm just going to go back to the other cascade I featured on another video back in October. An area where there's some more water running around. So we'll see. As I'm heading back towards a little drainage where I filmed some water and willows. Take some time. Ooh, look at this. Just take some time to appreciate these beautiful chamises. They're so beautiful when they're blooming. There's such a common plant. I know they get maligned for helping carry fires out quite a ways. But I gotta admit, this plant is very important to, ooh, hold up. Calopepla californica. There's a California quail. Of course, it's really far away, but I can tell it's a quail because of its walk, and I could barely see the little lobe-shaped crest on top of its head. That's a California quail right there. I've been hearing them. Calling most of the time I've been out here this morning. You hear, it's kind of what they sound like when they're calling out in the chaparral. Yeah, quail tend to be a pretty common sighting out here. Pretty common find. But usually for me, they're usually long gone before I can get any video of them because they're extremely aloof and they're very flighty. I mean, not meaning more like they're kind of the type that flee really quickly. Let's put it that way. Then we have at least a couple to a few species of quail. I know here, I believe our main species down here would be Calopepla californica, but I know there's a type called Oreorctix pictus, which is the mountain quail. And I'm not sure, I think there might be a gamble quail, Calopepla gambelii maybe. I'm not sure about that one though. But if you go up in the mountains, you might catch Oreorctix pictus, the mountain quail. Down here, you're most likely to see the Calopepla californica. And there's some scrub jay action going on too. Kind of flying low above the ravine here. Still waiting. I'm still waiting for these guys to bloom right here. Dudleya pulverulenta. These have not started blooming yet. I thought they would have already by now. But I guess with everything being off to a late start because of a cooler than average winter, everything's a little bit later. Like if you go around the city of San Diego, you'll be surprised that jacaranda trees that are usually blooming by now are just budding. They're going to be very delayed this year, as you can tell. But yeah, I keep seeing a scrub jay flying through the scrub oaks over there. All right, well, I'm going to go keep working my way down. We'll see if I see any other wildlife. Alright, so like I said, just coming back down this very gentle little trail here. Too busy enjoying the scents and fragrances and the sights to really get bummed out about not climbing a hill. Again, that's it right there. That's Hill 799 or Morning Mist Hill, according to peak bagger users. I would like to get up there like I would any other hill or peak, but maybe not when people are working at the end of the road. Well, there's something cool. Here's a big Mission prickly pear cactus right here. I believe this is our good old Ficus indica, Puntia ficus indica. This is a big one too. This is a big one. Sometimes they can get bigger than this. You can see a lot of these larger pads don't have a lot of long spines on them. There are a few here and there, but you notice on the developing prickly pear, there are spines. Here are your tepals of your Ficus indica, kind of orange and then turning yellow. And this one's got a few main trunks. So I'm not exactly 100% sure if this is a Ficus indica. There are a couple other species of Opuntia that get tree-like. And this one's almost tree-like. It actually has, well, it's got a couple of main stems. And again, this is not a native one here. But it is quite a sight to behold because these pads are massive. And if you look carefully, well, it looks like something's been chomping on some of these developing fruits. But if you look here, You can see some of that whitish stuff there. That's called cochineal scale. It's from a type of an insect. And they've been harvested. The cochineal insects have been harvested to make red dyes and even red food coloring. Just an interesting little tidbit, because you will see cochineal scales on a lot of Opuntia species, and including our natives as well. So our natives are definitely not immune to it. I don't think it does any harm to the plants, not that I'm aware of, but sometimes if you see big white blotches on prickly pear pads, that's what you're looking at. You're looking at cochineal scale. And here we got a Mediterranean native right here, the olive, Olea europaea. It's blooming, and that's why the bees are buzzing over here pretty fiercely. So that one's got a couple of main trunks on it. It's really cool looking. I've seen a couple of types. I think they're different species that are single trunked. There are a few species of opuntioids, the flat padded cactus, that are very tall and have a single trunk. So yeah, here's our Mesa Trail. If you hike this up a little ways, you get on a Big Rock Trail. That'll take you towards Coles Mountain. And that's the first time I climbed it. But I'm just going to step in here and take a look at this little riparian section here. See if there's anything popping around here, maybe animal-wise. This is a very nice thicket of arroyo willow. Ooh, I think there's a rentet. No, that's not a rentet. Body's not bulky enough. I thought it was a rentet or something. So far, I'm seeing just some water striders. That's the type of bug with the really long legs. As you can see, kind of wiggling around there. That's a water strider. Those are very common. They're able to actually literally float on top of the water. And I just want to see if there was any amphibian activity around here. Doesn't look like too much action going on around here. Before I turn back on the trail, I do remember this big scrub oak over here. Yeah, right here. Here's a big scrub oak. Big scrub oak. I remember this from the first time I was here. Yeah, look at the base of this. I don't think I realized look at that. So we got a wood rat nest there. This big round feature here is the root burl of this scrub oak here. I think this might still be a dumosa, but I'm not sure 100%. I think this might be a dumosa. It's got a very large trunk, a very large base on it. Very beautiful scrub oak. All right, well, and boot, toy on sapling right there. Really cool. All right, well, like I'm not going to be climbing Coles today. I think I brought enough water or energy to do so. I will be doing that eventually again. Okay, back to the trail. Here's something a little interesting. Sorry to get a little evasive, guys, but I think we might be having some mating behavior on these so-called stink bugs. I believe that's the male on top of the female. Might be a mating ritual. Those are the type of beetle-looking bugs you're going to see on the trail a lot. A lot, and I mean a lot. They're very common. So my thing is, when you're hiking, just be careful. Just watch where you're stepping so you don't accidentally squish one of those poor little guys. So we're now near this little creek side area here. There's a small, remember there's a small path that leads down in, near it. I think it's over here somewhere, I think. Here it is. I'm going to come back here again. I've shot a video of this area before. I'll just shoot a video of it again. I've always liked this little area. Ever since I first saw it, yeah, this is a pretty awesome spot to kick it. Very nice peaceful area over here. You can just see this very lush Mission Manzanita, Chamise, and Scrub Oak chaparral just covering this hillside here. It's very luscious. And these are some big Mission Manzanitas too, I can tell. These are some very large specimens. This area is very beautiful. Alright. Let's see if I can make my way down there. So here we are, down by the lower cascade. Just a little miniature rock scramble to get down here. Wow, it's beautiful. I don't think I came down this far the first time I was here. Just wanted to see if anything's living in here, any cool animal species. Wow, this is really cool. See a little waterfall right here. That's really neat. I like seeing this kind of stuff. I don't have to be at a 1,000-foot waterfall drop to really enjoy it. Sometimes these little more intimate grottos are at least as cool and really at least as neat to explore. Very beautiful here. Wander over this way a little bit more. Try to do it gently. Especially because my area behind my foot is really irritated right now. Wow, this is a really cool little intimate grotto here. This would probably be a bullfrog spot right here too, I would imagine. I don't get the impression that Baja chorus frogs would probably be too prevalent here. bullfrogs need a lot more water, especially because their tadpoles are huge. The tadpoles are so huge. I've seen them before. I had one as a pet once that I bought, that my mother bought for me at a pet store. Let's see if I can get down a little bit closer. Nicely and gently here. Oh, it's a crawfish. Whoa. That was weird. The crawfish just went down the watering hole. Yeah, there's a bunch of crawfish in here. A bunch. I can see a gang of them. There's some actually right here at this little pool. Yeah, there's a bunch of crawfish over here too. That's crazy. I can see a gang of them in the water. I can see them all over the bottom by the rocks and stuff. Ah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, one of them was just going down here and took the current down into the water. That's pretty crazy. I can see one in there. Yeah, I can see him. Wow. Bet you the camera won't pick it up too well, though, of course. Wow, this is really cool. Okay, very interesting. You see something. There's one that's crawling along a branch in the water. Over here. I suspect crawfish should probably be another reason why Baja chorus frogs probably wouldn't be too prevalent here as well, considering how they can be kind of predatory as well. Let's see what else I can take a look at around here. Okay. There's another crawfish right here. Look at that one. Right by that stick. Right near the edge of the water. Right on the top of the water. Really cool. You can see it kind of moving around. Another crawfish. Yeah, there are a bunch of crawfish in this pond. This puddle over here too. There's a gang of them in there. There's a lot of them. So this must come from quite a ways up this way, because sometimes you'll hear the creaking going on. Yeah, this is a pretty cool little spot, I ain't gonna lie. Here's an area of much more stagnant water. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere. It's very beautiful over here, I'll tell you that. Ooh. California figwort bee plant. Scrophularia californica. Just done a spotlight video on this today. It's right here on this rocky spot here. Wow. This is very beautiful here. This is really neat. I don't think we're really supposed to go too far off of this though. But yeah, you notice the creek goes through here. I'm not going to step on some of these native sedges and stuff. I'm going to stick to the rocks, just so I don't go breaking any plant life. Very beautiful here. Very rocky. I like it here. I like it. Now looks like we got branching Phacelia ramosissima. Got a little bit of that going on right now. Of course, sweet fennel, that's our non-native. And this guy's not native either. But look at all the western, look at the stands of western ragweed here too. Very luscious. I was hoping to catch an amphibian sighting, but I guess maybe that wasn't in the cards for today. What we got growing over here? Oh yeah, it looks like Clematis passiflora. Yeah, pretty cool. A Clematis species. It'll probably be going dormant pretty soon, I would imagine. Wow, this is really cool. This is a really cool spot. Very peaceful here. And of course we got a Gooding's black willow here, Salix goodingi. Wow. So yeah, I'm not gonna go too far because I don't want to mess with the ecosystem here. But it looks like there's a Mission Manzanita branch down here that probably broke down from a large specimen up on the hill there, I would imagine. But I believe this is broadleaf cattail right here. I believe that's what this is right here. This is the broadleaf Typholatifolia, I believe is what this one is. Pretty sure that's what species this one is. It has a broader leaf than some of the other ones. And latifolia means broadleaf in Latin. So, pretty sure that's what we got there. Okay. Try to do this minimal, minimal impact. But yeah, we got a population of branching Phacelia down here. So this plant here, it's one of our few perennials in the genus Phacelia. Most of our Phacelias are annuals. This one's a perennial, and it has a kind of a small flower. So that's branching Phacelia. It looks like an annual because it dies back to its root, but the root survives for years and sends out new stems every rainy season, and higher up probably during the spring. So this is an ephemeral perennial, Phacelia ramosissima. Pretty cool looking plant. Well, let's see. Maybe I'll get some more footage on the way out. I mean, it's a really cool spot right here, and it's right off of Mesa Trail or Mesa Rd. So if you're careful and you stick to the rocks, you should be able to have fun visiting this little spot. Before I do any moving on, here's another plant. I haven't seen this one in a while, but it's this small plant here growing out of the rock. That's Nuttall snapdragon right there. That's Antirrhinum nuttalianum, subspecies nuttalianum. I haven't seen this one in a while. I haven't really looked for it, but there it is growing out of the rock. Beautiful little plant too. Very pretty. So again, it's called Nuttall snapdragon. And we have a few species of Antirrhinum here too as well. If I remember correctly, I believe it's in the plantain family, Plantagenaceae. And yeah, you should be able to find it, especially around trail sides, rocks, chaparral, scrub. You should be able to find it. I don't come across it a super huge amount, but that's because I'm usually not really looking for it, but there it is. Beautiful plant. All right, well, I gotta think of my next move before I go back to the trailhead, and we'll see. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is work my way back. This walk is very slippery, so just be aware. Watch where you step. Very slick. Okay. There we go. This is so cool. I love looking at this stuff. Water is so fun to be around. This is so cool. Oh, I think we have a species of loosestrife here. This looks like a species of Lythrum. I'm not sure. Yeah, this is a Lythrum species. I'm not sure if this is Lythrum californicum or Lythrum hyssopifolium. So, difference between the two being californicum is native and it's a perennial, and the other species, hyssopifolium, is not native and it's an annual. So I'm not really sure what species I have here, to be honest with you, but this is a species of Lythrum right here. I'm going to have to look this up because, yeah, this is the first time I've ever seen a Lythrum up close. I've seen pictures in books, but it never compares to when you see stuff in real life. So this is the first time I've ever seen a plant in the genus Lythrum. And believe it or not, we have an ornamental tree, not native here to Southern California, but it's called crepe myrtle. And I don't know if it still is considered a part of it, but when I learn about, when I'm learning about these different plants and their plant families, the crepe myrtle tree you see planted in the south and southeast with those yellow, those white, purple, red flowers in late summer and early fall, and planted here in Southern California as well. When I found out about them, I found that they were also in the members. They're also members of the Lythraceae, the Lythrum family, the loosestrife family. So this is a type of loosestrife right here. First time I've ever seen one, or at least noticed one. So I might have to do a little hard research on that because their species are supposed to be very similar, very similar foliage. But one of them is an annual, the non-native hyssop loosestrife, Lythrum hyssopifolia, and Lythrum californicum is is a perennial native. So looks like I got a little research to do on that one. So something for me to hit the books about. Pretty cool. I'm gonna go take a picture of it, and look, it's a very small plant, so it's gonna be kind of hard to get a good detailed picture of it, but it'll help me look up when I need to look up. Well, I got my answer as to what species of loosestrife I was looking at. Well, so I consulted my San Diego County Native Plants Field Guide book. So, this one here is the non-native annual Lythrum hyssopifolia. This one is supposed to be more of a spreading plant with paler colored purple flowers. It's really hard to see. You're not going to really see them that well on camera. You really have to look at them in person to really appreciate them. They're pretty flowers. They're just really tiny. Very tiny. And they have a paler color. See, Lythrum hyssopifolia, which this one is, has more of a spreading habit, branching along the ground mostly, and is an annual herbaceous plant and has very pale flowers. The California loosestrife, Lythrum californicum, is more upright and has a darker purple flower, more vivid color. A little bit more of an upright plant than this one here. So now I know if I'm looking at more of an upright plant, I'm looking at Lythrum californicum with darker purple flowers. So here we have the non-native hyssop loosestrife, Lythrum hyssopifolium. So at least I was able to do that without having to compare images for an hour and scrutinize the heck out of them. I got my answer pretty quickly. So there you go. Problem solved. So yeah, I'm gonna start getting ready to head up this hill. Been hanging around here. I shot a spotlight video, shoot more video of this area. This is such a beautiful place. Really cool little spot to just get some charming footage of Southern California nature at its finest. So yeah, I even got to see a first. And got to do spotlight something today too, so got to see a plant for the first time. I don't get the impression that the loosestrife is very invasive, but it's not native. So what do we have here? It looks like we have Appium graveolens. It looks like common celery. I believe that's not native as well. Occasionally pops up here in these wet areas. So I'm just going to do is just scramble up these rocks, get back to the trail, and finish off. See what a little digging around will do? Satisfy your quench for knowledge, or quench your thirst for knowledge. Okay. Well, back to the trail, back to the car soon. This looks to be about the end of this little mini adventure. Just about back at the trailhead already. I'm surprised this doesn't fill up over here. Well, cool little spot. Definitely would have been cool to get up there, but yeah, that's all right. There's always another time. Not like I didn't have a good time anyways. I had a very good time with this little short adventure. Well, here it is, Mesa Trailhead. Mesa Trails Regional Park. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next adventure.